Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. In the light of discussing the maturity of different planets, we have so far reached till the extent of the maturity of Saturn, and so today we will discuss about how Saturn gives its results upon its maturity and how it entails, how its manifestations work out, and what are the results and what are the biggest challenges that Saturn throws upon us before the maturity of Saturn comes upon in our lives. So firstly, when we discuss the maturity of any planet, planets are already mature. Planets are billions of years old. So it is not about the maturity of the planets so much in the horoscope or in the lives, or how it is about how we, by virtue of how we have lived our lives so far, the planet will give us more mature results pertaining to the age that we are of our lives. If we take more time in maturing, that means we don't give results commensurate to the age, then the planet will also delay its maturity related to the characteristics of that particular planet. So sometimes it may happen that in spite of somebody living to a ripe old age, you will still find that maturity evades them. Specifically, the maturity of Saturn evades them, because Saturn's maturity is one of the toughest periods for a person to go through and to achieve Saturn's maturity. So while the ancients, all religious books and the shlokas tell us that Saturn matures in the 36th year or after you have reached the 35th year of your birthday. So when your birthday is already over, the 35th year, you are celebrated with the 35 candles. And that time onwards is Saturn's maturity, which means the 36th year onwards. That's how Vedic astrology calculates. Once your 35th birthday is over, you have stepped into the 36th year. So from a Vedic astrology point of view, from the 36th year onwards or after your 35th birthday is when Saturn's maturity period should come upon you. However, what does this mean? Three events in our lives are very, very important which are related to Saturn. One is Saturn's return. What is Saturn's return? Saturn's return is wherever Saturn is placed in a horoscope, it returns after all the transits through all the houses. It comes back to the same house and the same sign, which is roughly between 28.5 years to 30 years. So after that period is over, Saturn comes back to the same house and sign. That is called as Saturn's return, because it is returning to the position where it is in your Lagna chart, in your birth chart. So that is a very, very important event of Saturn's return. I have already made a video on Saturn's return. I would suggest you please see that, because it tells you what Saturn's return means in our lives and what it means of various results coming upon us, various events coming upon our lives, and from there on how Saturn treats us. The second period and the recurring period, just like Saturn's return, Saturn returns every 28.5 years. Similarly, the another period which returns again and again is the Sadesati period. Sadesati period is the 7.5 years of period of Saturn going over the placement of where it is pre to the moon, on the moon and post to the moon, which means wherever moon is placed, in whichever sign moon is placed, when Saturn comes to the penultimate house or a house before that house, stays in that house for 2.5 years, then goes into the house where moon is placed in your natal chart, which means Saturn is going over moon, which is the Sadesati period, 7.5 years period, then remains in that house with the moon for another 2.5 years, and then goes into the next house after another 2.5 years. It goes into the next house and spends another 2.5 years. So Saturn spends one period of the 7.5 years. The 2.5 years is one dahiya, one part, which is a house before the moon, then another 2.5 years in the house with the moon in the natal chart wherever moon is placed, and then in the next house 2.5 years, which is called the third dhaya. So the rising period, the peak period, and the setting period of the Sadesati, and very important period, a very critical period in one person's life. I have also made a video on Saturn Sadesati and what it means. Please watch that video as well. And last but not the least, the very important event, but which comes only once in life, is the period of Saturn's maturity, and from then on what results Saturn gives us. However, Saturn's maturity comes only once, but it also brings in a lot of changes, how we start seeing our lives from then on, how we look at our lives, various manifestations, and how Saturn starts giving us different results. So one of the most important things about Saturn's maturity, apart from all the other planets getting mature first, is that Saturn's maturity happens last in the planetary bodies which are not Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu we know are mathematical points, they are not actual physical planets. So in the physical heavenly bodies, Saturn's maturity happens last, and after that only Rahu and Ketu remain. And Rahu and Ketu's maturity is dependent critically on Saturn's maturity. Till Saturn matures in your horoscope, Rahu and Ketu's maturity doesn't come upon us. And if Saturn is not maturing, or Saturn is not giving you mature results, then you have failed Saturn, and then that activates Rahu and Ketu strongly in our life, extremely strongly. And hence, the 35th year onwards, you will see, if we have not showcased our forebearing and how we have matured to different life events pertaining to what Saturn expects from us, then Saturn starts giving us those challenges which hurries up our maturity. Saturn wants to mature before we die, and so if after a 35th year onwards also, if Saturn does not see that we have matured to various events, various situations, various relations in our life, then Saturn throws at us one by one challenges and issues to hurry up the maturity before the period of Rahu and Ketu's maturity comes upon us, because then life can be very tough. So one of the important things about Saturn's maturity is, in one word, if I have to signify what Saturn's maturity means, is Saturn checks how much you have been patient in your lives in dealing various situations, various issues, various people in their lives. So the more patience you have shown in dealing with things, dealing with issues, dealing with people, that much more easier Saturn's maturity comes upon you. But patience in what? Patience in dealing with what? Patience in dealing with different areas of our lives in terms of how we have handled them. So firstly, why the 35th year? The reason being is that according to Vedic astrology age, generally by the time you hit the 70th year, you are more or less seen as somebody who should be preparing for sannyasa onwards. The vanaprastha can be extended for a few years also if you are more engrossed in the worldly life, but the sannyasa, definitely the 70th onwards, the sannyasa period starts. And so by the 35th year, you should have already stabilized in various areas of your life, which is the halfway round before you hit the 70th year. So if you have not hit the 35th year with stability, with patience, only then the next 35 years before you take sannyasa, you will be able to do the other activities of your life to the best of your abilities. If by the 35th year you have not stabilized your life in various areas of your life, then the next 35 years before you hit the 70th year onwards, the sannyasa period, then you are not ready. And so the next 35 years till you achieve the 70th year, if for some reason you have not been able to showcase the maturity that Saturn expects of you, then Saturn's maturity is delayed, and then the tough period starts. And hence it is very important for us, it is imperative for us that by the time you hit your 35th year, you should be ready for Saturn's maturity, because if not, then Saturn will throw tougher tests at us, tougher challenges at us. Now, while we talked about patience, what Saturn means by virtue of us showcasing our patience. Patience in dealing with how we have been able to demonstrate the structure and discipline in leading our lives, how we have led our lives by rules, and we have been patient to following rules. We have stood in our lines, not tried to circumvent processes, circumvent lines, circumvent standard operating procedures, not try to take shortcuts, not try to become the Rahu, not try to manipulate our lives, not try to take undue advantage of people's niceties, people being nice to you. So patience when we are facing downfalls, patience when we are facing issues, patience when we are facing other people and dealing with different people, different types of people. So we know that people are not similar to our natures, our attitudes, and so when we face different kinds of people, how patient we have been with them. Or have we carrying baggages, emotional baggages, feeling animosity, feeling remorse, and carrying that baggage throughout our lives and even post 35th year. So Saturn expects that by the time you hit your 35th year, you need to be wise enough, because Saturn has allowed the maturity of all the planets so far. And yet, if you are not able to show the wisdom that Jupiter should be able to give you, the responsibility and the accountability that Sun should have entailed upon you, or the analytical decision that Mercury should have given you to make the right choices, and the maturity of the Moon in terms of being able to nurture others, support others, the maturity of Mars in terms of being able to handle issues, challenges, problems, and not lose your motivation, not lose your energy. And only then, when you have shown the maturity of all of these, then only Saturn knows that you are ready for the next period onwards. But if you are carrying baggage of not being responsible, not being able to showcase your motivation, not being able to nurture and take care of others, not having taken the right decision, not made the right choices, not taken care of your responsibilities, having no purpose in life, and not being able to also showcase the responsibility in relations which Venus should have given you, then Saturn knows that you are not ready for Saturn's maturity. So whatever you have shown downfall, if you have shown less than completion in Venus's maturity, then Saturn will throw challenges in terms of handling relations. If you have shown less completion in terms of having a purpose of life, being goal oriented, leading your life with energy, then Saturn will throw more challenges at you, where you will have to showcase more energy and will throw more goals at you, more responsibilities at you. If you are not somebody who takes accountability, responsibility for your action, then Saturn will throw you into those situations where you will have to take accountability, and your dignity, your prestige will be at stake if you have not shown Sun's maturity. So whichever planetary entity's maturity you have not crossed and not taken it forward, Saturn throws a mixture of all those curveballs at you. So in some way, Saturn's maturity is not only about Saturn's maturity. Saturn's maturity is a mixture of all the incomplete activities pertaining to the maturity of all the planets, and hence Saturn's maturity period is a critical period. By the 35th year, if you are not settled in your mind, settled in your emotions, settled in your attitude, settled in your behavior, settled in your responsibilities, settled in how you take care of rules and regulations, and you are not somebody who is dignified, somebody who does not have any emotional baggage, somebody who is ready to forgive and move on, only then Saturn will be able to give you more mature results, more patient results. Saturn's maturity means that Saturn knows that you have crossed that threshold where you are now ready and you are patient, you are more dignified, you have led your life with structure, with organized effort, you have been somebody who has been responsible, you have been taking care of your relations, you have taken care of your karma, then only Saturn will give you stability. So Saturn's maturity is about giving you stable results. Saturn's biggest promise of his maturity is to give you stability in life. So Saturn, if you have shown the maturity so far in all the related to all the planets so far and what their maturity means, then Saturn gives you stability in its own enterprise, which means Saturn gives you stable results in your home, Saturn gives you stable results at your work, Saturn gives you stable results in your investments, Saturn gives you good and stable results dealing with children, Saturn gives you stable results dealing with responsibilities at work, Saturn gives you stable results even in your health, though from then onwards your health slowly starts to deteriorate definitely after your 35th year, which is the peak year of your youth. But Saturn slows down the challenges, those issues, and Saturn helps you give you more stable results in your life. And so by the time you hit your 35th year, if you have been true to the maturity of all the planets and what Saturn expects you in terms of being dignified, taking care of rules and regulations, being disciplined and organized in your effort, taking care of rules and regulations, and being respectful to seniors, being respectful to old and senior people. If you have not raised a word, if you have not raised your voice to your parents, you have bowed your head down to your teachers, to senior people. It doesn't mean you have to agree to everything, but you can agree or disagree in a more respectful manner also. Even with your parents, you can respectfully disagree without putting anybody down. And the most important thing, if you have taken care of the people who are below you, who you are responsible for, or who you have power over, your team members, the people who work below you, your maid servant, your driver, your security guard, anybody and everybody who works for you, takes a salary from you, depends on you, and the poorest of the poor people. If you have not nurtured them and supported them as Moon's maturity expects of you, if you have not taken accountability and responsibility for society and things around you, and not shown the leadership to take care of people, if God has given you more, if you have not been somebody who has raised your children with ethics and morals, if you have not stuck to carrying forward your family's legacy and your family's traditions and values, then Saturn's maturity will not give you the stability. But if you have been able to true to all these and shown the maturity in how all other planets manifestations expect you in their own maturity, then Saturn's maturity will give you the most patient, will give you the most stable result, and from then on there is no looking back when Saturn matures and Saturn's maturity comes upon. Otherwise a troublesome period starts if Saturn is not ready to give you more mature results. So if you are at the threshold of the 30th, 35th year, or if you have crossed the 38th year, yet for some reason you have not settled down in your profession, in your job, in your career, you still feel lost, you have not been able to take care of your relations, you have not taken care of the grihastha ashram, the domestic life, you are still struggling how you deal with children, you are not clear of a strategy, you don't know where you are going, you have no goals in life, there is no purpose in life, and you are still lost, then the more challenging period awaits you. So my suggestion to you is, if you have crossed 30th year already, and if you are close to 35th year or cross the 35th year and you are still facing challenges, then the sooner that you sit down and you make a note of where all you have gone wrong, where all you need to take more responsibility, where you need to take accountability, how you had to handle some of the relationship challenges, what emotional baggage you have to let go of, who you have to say sorry to, who you need to apologize to, how you have to handle issues related to your spouse, your children, your parents, your siblings, your team members, your bosses. And if you have been able to handle all of them well and without cutting any corners, ethical corners, you earn a good livelihood, you earn a clean livelihood, and you carry your life with principles, then it is an important thing that if you have not done all this so far, please sit down and take a note and make a note and correct those things sooner than later. If not, then a tougher period could come upon you if Saturn is not ready to give you mature results. And one of the biggest losses if Saturn is not ready to give you mature results is there is no stability in life. There is a downfall in emotions, there could be relationship challenges, there could be health challenges, there could be issues with children, there could be issues at work. Investments could throw up issues and challenges also at you. So friends, look into our own lives, take a mirror and take a feedback from friends, take a feedback from those who you trust, who give you uncluttered feedback and straight, frank feedback, and sit down with them. Ask your spouse where you have gone wrong. Ask your friends or your family members or your parents where you need to improve. Check with your bosses and your team members. Take a feedback, and then you also make your own analysis. You may not accept every feedback which is given to you. Some of that may also be colored and cluttered, but have the humility to accept it. Whatever areas you need to still polish and still correct them, and from then onwards try to make at least a disciplined effort, a concerted effort, a structured effort, and a committed effort towards relationship, towards your karma, towards your duty, towards your accountability, towards your responsibility, and towards generally life's manifestation in different areas of your life. And then you will see that Saturn will start giving you more mature results. Saturn will give you more stability. Saturn will also give you the patience to be able to overcome all the issues, handling all those issues with the maturity that Saturn can expect of you and can give you. So friends, please like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend Astrology and Guide Irfan signing off.